Hi, this is Gerald Salenti. It's Friday, February 7th, 2020, and here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, it mixed over there in Asia, but not too bad. Down across Europe, but not too bad. Down here in the States, and gold up, oil down. What's going on? Dow drops more than 250 points, snaps four-day winning streak amid coronavirus worries. Now they have 636 deaths. 636 deaths in a country of 1.4 billion. We'll see where this goes. So these have people worried about China's economy because they're quarantining the place. Business is way down. So we're going to see China get hit. How bad is it going to hit the rest of the world? How long is this going to last? Who knows? But right now, to me, most of it's about China. And it's not going to hurt a lot of the rest of the world as much as China as far as the economies go. The United States economy added 225,000 jobs in January. So, kind of coronavirus hit in January. Yeah, that's all right. But the jobs that were created, health services, 72,000 in education, construction, 44,000, leisure and hospitality, 36,000, warehousing, 21,000, government, 19,000. So what I'm saying is the jobs that are being created aren't great jobs. What else do we have here? Oil. Oil's down, the coronavirus. This is the fifth straight week. But oil prices have been going down before that. So it's not only about the coronavirus, it's about supply and demand. And the demand ain't there. Russia wants to cut back more. Russia doesn't want to cut back more. The Saudis and the Arabs, they want to cut back more, the Arab League. So we'll see where this is going. They're going to be meeting in March. But right now, there's way too much supply and not enough demand. Gold prices, they rose because of, goodbye, Rosie, queen of coronavirus. And very interesting, the dollar right now is at a high that it hasn't seen since October. So the dollar is strong and gold's still up. It's very important to look at. So China, here we go. China braced for oil demand as slide continues and industrial activity hit. OPEC advisors call for deeper oil supply cuts to compensate for virus impact. Again, oil demand has been going down. This just made it worse. So what's going on? More rate cuts over there in Thailand. Just cut some rates down to historic lows. Take a trip over there to Singapore. They're talking about lowering them too. They're going to do everything they can to keep propping up this phony economy because the People's Bank of China is pumping more funds into the overnight markets. Just keeps going on and on. They're doing everything they can to juice the equities and their economy. So what does that mean? Their currency, the yuan, is going to get weaker. Now, inflation is going up over there. It's not good. Could this be a black swan event? Who knows? But you know what I found interesting? That they built these two hospitals because of this coronavirus outbreak in 2 weeks. If it was in America, it'd be 2 years. And that is no...
That is bullshit.
And that is no...
Bullshit.
That's right. World's factories return to growth but face risk. There's been a little bit more growth. Meantime, a final IHS Market Manufacturing Survey for the U.S., it dipped to a 3-month low before the coronavirus. Mnuchin and Lagarde sound economic alarm. U.S. Secretary Stephen Mnuchin warned the United States economy would probably not reach its 3% growth rate this year predicted by the Trump administration. Ready for this? Citing Boeing 737 MAX woes and the coronavirus. That is just nothing more than Mnuchin.
Bullshit.
You got it. It grew last year, the economy, 2.3%. All the numbers coming out before this happened is 2%. So that's all they're saying. The tax breaks that Trump put in, according to the Tax Policy Center, the bill he passed in 2017, it went, 82% of it went to the 1%. It didn't go back into capital expenditures. It went into stock buybacks. The economy's not growing at any real strength. And the jobs that are being created by the numbers, the wages stink. But they'll lie and tell you they're doing great. And anybody, by the way, that believes in your political party, don't tune into this podcast. Go somewhere else. Because if you want to face the truth, you face it with the Trends Journal, our magazine. There's no other magazine like it on the planet. It's a weekly. We just came out with a new one. Top what we have in there. We show you what's going on, what it means, and what's next. And that's why we say when Mnuchin says this bullshit and then followed up by Mr. Lagarde, who's now the head of the European Central Bank, that mobster group, quote, there's no question that the virus will have some impact on global growth. Yeah, okay. The ECB, it's cut its rates. They're into minus 0.5 negative interest rates. They're repumping up quantitative easing, or we should call it monetary methadone. And yet, let's see here. Eurozone growth in the fourth quarter of 2019 was just 0.1%. 0.1%, long before Rosie, Queen of Coronavirus, showed up. There's a slowdown. This is just going to make it worse. And cities look to marijuana taxes for help. Isn't that great? These low-life little scum politicians, they're going to rule us on whether or not and how much we got to pay for marijuana, nature's plant, Father Nature's plant, no Mother Nature's plant, nature's plant. These little bastards and bitches, to be very equal here, putting a tax on this plant so these little low-life piece of craps could have their jobs doing nothing as politicians and all the little clowns they hire, the serfs, to deal with them. More taxes, stealing money from us. Yeah, don't forget to vote. How about what happened in Iowa? They're too damn stupid to count the votes. Or was it to get Bernie? The Russians did it. The Russians did it. Trump acquitted. Yeah, big story, right? He was acquitted the other day. Read your Trends Journal. Go back to September when Nancy Pelosi said he was going to be impeached. We said don't waste a second following this. Only an imbecile or moron or a dumbo-crap would watch it because you need 2/3 of the Senate to convict Trump, and they already have a Republican majority. It's not going anywhere. Just a freak show. And look at the freaks. That Schiff guy, Pelosi, Chucky Schumer, Adler, whatever their names are, one little moron after another. Waste of time. So you're missing the current events forming future trends. That's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. Iran holding back on nuclear output, says Monitor. Well, the Americans will lie about that and they'll find out a reason why to bomb them. And speaking about lowlifes, They're all over the place. The slimy little politicians and all of these officials. Yeah, official assholes. Scotland's finance minister quits over text to teenager. Yeah, isn't that great? A boy. Mr. McKay apologized unreservedly to the boy and said he was, quote, sorry to have let colleagues and supporters down. No, you were sorry, you little bastard, because you got caught. All right? What President Trump did at his State of the Union address was a disgrace. When he brought in that little Juan Guaido from Venezuela and said how great this guy is, a hero, into my House of Representatives, you bring a foreigner in there because you want to go overthrow the government, and all those little low-life liberal Democrats, along with the repulsivekins, all applauded. All applauded. Disgusting. And what are they applauding? We got to overthrow that guy Maduro. I don't like the way he treats his people. This is not my America. Where's the outrage? Well, maybe stupid people believe we should invade and overthrow another country because look at the great success we have already, or they have. Iraq, beautiful. Afghanistan, how many years going? 19 is going on? Oh, yeah. Yemen made the place beautiful. Why do you have all those people that want to leave when you killed over 500,000? Murderer Obama? Hey, how about Libya? Oh, it's a hellhole. Read all about it in your Trends Journal. The New World Disorder by freaks that are giving the orders. President Trump met with Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido at the White House after repeating a threat to oust the South American country's president a day earlier. Mr. Guaido traveled to Washington as a guest of the president and First Lady. Quote, Maduro is an illegitimate ruler, a tyrant who brutalizes his people, but Maduro's grip to tyranny will be smashed and broken, the president said in his address. You slimy piece of garbage, saying those words. Mind your own business. Or, hey, Trump, why don't you go lead the charge? Huh? Oh, no, send Jared and your little boys to go fight. No, you'll send Americans to go get killed and then call them heroes. This is disgusting. Oh, and that little other slimy little low-life piece of garbage crap, the senator from New York, little Chucky Schumer, another ballless little boy, he went on to say, Senate Minority Leader. Yeah, Minority Leader because your brain is so small. Chucky Schumer criticized Mr. Trump for his failure to oust Maduro. His failure to oust. This is not my America. I launched Occupy Peace. Bring home the troops. No foreign entanglements. No, I'm not an isolationist. I mind my own business. If you screw with me, I'll kill you if my life is threatened. Got it? But I don't go to another country or into somebody's house and tell them how to run it. 3 Palestinians killed, another one just a little while ago, in surge of violence after release of Trump's peace plan. A piece of shit plan. A murderous plan. Oh yeah, Israel, you have the right to steal all the land you want. You say it was right there in the good book, God gave it to us. It's in the Bible, the Torah. That's what Chucky Schumer said. The reason we have problems with the Palestinians is they don't believe the Torah. Yeah, save it. I got my own good book. You're stealing land. It's against international law. This thing is going to escalate more and more tension in the Middle East. When those oil prices go back up, the global economy is going to go down if war breaks out. And what else do we have here? U.S. kills Yemen Al-Qaeda leader. Under Rami, the group, quote, committed unconscionable violence against civilians, in Yemen and sought to conduct and inspire numerous attacks against the United States and our forces. Mr. Trump said, "What are you doing over there? You want to talk about murder? How about the 100,000 that the Saudis have murdered in Yemen? How about the worst humanitarian crisis on earth, Trump?" Although they don't count, when the Saudis, our allies, the beheaders in chief, not my ally, only low-lives allies who ally with murderers. But hey, you're in the business now. It's only business. You're in these, they're killing Americans. We're illegally in these countries. You have no right being there. Iraqis say ISIS, not a Tehran-backed militia, may have attacked the American base. You remember what happened. An American contractor was killed at one of these bases when a missile went in. That was Trump's excuse to then fire missiles into Iraqi bases that housed Iranian-backed troops. So they're Shia. They weren't Iranians running the show. And they killed almost 30 of them and wounded about 60 others. That's when they went out and started protesting at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. And then right after that, Trump used that excuse in one of them as another lie as to why to assassinate General Soleimani of Iran. It was an imminent threat. Hey, could you show me any proof? No, screw you. We don't have to show you proof about anything. Like Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. Gulf of Tonkin incident. Hey, remember the May? No, I forgot that one. You're a bunch of lying freaks. Hey, maybe you should go and join that guy over there in Scotland. So, they say right here, Iraqi military and intelligence officials have raised doubts about who fired the rockets that started the spiral of events. All the details are there. You got them in your Trends Journal. The new one just came out. It's nothing like it. We'll be talking more about this as well. Shaken by Trump's acquittal, Democrats ask, what do we do next? How about go screw yourself? You're a bunch of worthless people. You wasted our money with the stupid show you put on. It's all it is. Politics is show business for ugly people. Just look at them. How Iowa got away from Biden. Weak fundraising and small crowds lead to fourth place showing. Union endorses him. No, the way Iowa got away from Biden is because Biden's a stupid jerk. And when people watch him long enough, they say, what a moron this guy is. Been sucking off the public tit his whole life. Never had a real job and playing Mr. Important. Report faults response to 2016 Russian interference. You ready? The report from the Senate Intelligence Committee. There you go, right there. That's an oxymoron. There is no intelligence in the Senate committee. There's not one shred of evidence that the Russians hacked in. But people believe it because they believe their lies. And then what else do we have here? Tainted tap water puts suburbs on edge. I want to keep talking about this right here in Kingston, Newburgh, which is just south of us. They used to have a Stewart Air Force Base. And now it's just a regular airport. So you used to go through all these drills with this foam, fire foam. Now it's poisoned the water there. It's poisoned the water in many places throughout the United States. This is a story about 80,000 people in 3 townships outside Philadelphia that live in areas where the groundwater has been contaminated by chemicals used for decades for firefighting foam at 2 nearby decommissioned military bases. The military-industrial complex doesn't only rob us of our money, it robs us of our life. And they're not alone. these chemicals called PFAS, they got a whole big name before them, are a class of nearly 5,000 chemicals, often called forever chemicals because they take so long to break down. PFAS can accumulate in the body, and several forms have been linked to health issues, including increased cholesterol, thyroid, immune system problems, and cancer. You're worried about climate change? You're going to be dead before the climate changes. Stand up and fight. Occupy peace. It comes in a lot of ways. When we're in charge, we won't be slaughtered by the military-industrial complex or the chemical companies that buy off the low-life politicians with campaign contributions, bribes, and payoffs. This is Gerald Salenti, and that's some of today's trends in the news. And go to our website, trendsjournal.com, and you'll see more history before it happened.